live. So let's just hang out on there as live. And yeah, so I declared my campaign to learn Elm like I think like 6 months ago, and time flies. As a result of my declaration, I started doing some web development on my own time. I would start early in the morning before I would go to work, and then when I get off work, I like race to a Starbucks. Nah, I get in another couple hours, and I pretty much focused on doing that consistently every single day. And that's been the probably most challenging part is to consistency, right? I consumed the book, The Compound Effect. I forgot his name. I think his first name is Harry or something. Actually, let me see. Where's my Kindle at? No, actually, it's on. Yeah, I don't have it on me. But anyway, I read a book, The Compound Effect, and it kind of resonated with me. And so, between listening to that content, repeatedly consuming the content from John Sonmez in regards to trusting the system, I just kept on going full throttle, pretty much on a solo. I would create issues on GitHub for Bismonger / Nikeza, and then I would close out issues as soon as I would create them because my mind is wired like that. And yeah, so I got with Odie. He's over in Nigeria, I think last weekend. He helped me troubleshoot how to get this Elm web application deployed to an actual server. So, I mean, it's live now. It's still a prototype. I'm going to keep saying it's a prototype because I'm not really proud of the user experience. Well, I'm not a web developer either, so that's not an excuse, but it is what it is, and that's the truth. Um, what to reflect, there's a lot of things I learned. So Elm is a purely functional programming language, and so as I mentioned on Functional Geekery when I recorded um, with Steve Proctor a couple nights ago, I was attempting to articulate how like Elm really constrains you to perform ceremonies when you want to interact with the outside world. And so I had this whole notion of being able to build applications that are independent of any external systems, meaning I don't the applications that I build, they're agnostic when it comes to a database. They're agnostic when it comes to a web server that requests are ultimately sent to at this day and age. Doesn't care about any of that. It's just domain logic, and you just snap in any external. Well, you just snap in an interface ultimately that basically is going to forward those requests to an actual external system. So that's the way I build native applications, and I try to take that mentality or that philosophy, and I try to forward that to building a web application using this functional programming language called Elm. And I'll go full throttle. And as I've recorded in past videos, I ended up hitting a wall where I had to do a lot of rework, just because it forces you, Elm, from my understanding, forces you to acknowledge that the HTTP will be used, right? And so I had to change all my function signatures to basically accommodate that there will be a HTTP results, um, and just a whole bunch of I'm not really sure how to articulate it, but to make a long story short, I learned a lesson of how much Elm or maybe any purely functional programming language will really constrain you to do things a specific way. And that was kind of a, it is what it is. That's probably productive ultimately, but for me, based on my inexperience, I felt like Elm wasn't really flexible the way that I would have liked based on my past experience with object-oriented programming or even functional first programming languages. And again, I'm not knocking it. Maybe it's trying to save me from a lot of work in the long run by forcing me to confront it earlier on within the software development process. But that's pretty much it. I could share my screen of what I built so far. I honestly, I'm kind of ready to move on. I've been going hard in the paint like for about 6 months in web development on my off time, and specifically Elm. And now I have a better understanding. A couple days ago, or several days ago, really, I took the pleasure to print Elm on my resume, and to also print on my resume that, I built a web application using functional programming languages, F sharp on the server and Elm on the front end. And that was like that meant the most to me. That was something that I fantasized about 6 months ago. And just like when I train for marathons, I just keep visualizing when it becomes realized. When there's something that works, or it works for the most part. And since I deployed Nikeza to an actual server, and anyone could go to Nikeza.io, it's there. And so I took great pleasure in updating my resume and publishing it to Indeed.com and publishing it to Career Builder. And yeah, like dust off my shoulders. So that felt pretty good. I could share my screen. How do I share my screen? Come here. How do I share my screen? So I guess I could present to everybody. All right. So like, where are we at? What am I on? So this is and the other part is I actually stuck with it, man. When everybody else pretty much fizzled away or disappeared, uh, it motivated me even more to continue with this campaign and finish where most people drop off. So this is Nikeza.io. IO is in the domain extension. And what's cool about this, I think, is that there's a periodic task that runs, and it will discover new content based on platforms that users have registered their content on. And as they publish new content, Nikeza will pick it up and bubble that profile of the user that published that new content to the top of the list, right? And so that's something that's like, I don't know, in a way, I built something that is kind of, living, right? Because it's automated where it will automatically update the UI without me having to do anything. It basically crawls a whole bunch of different platforms: YouTube, Stack Overflow, various podcast feeds, WordPress, Medium.com, and it's this system, when left alone, will just react to the internet. And that's something I just think is really cool. And what's even cooler is like my mind is behind it. So it's a little bit of narcissism, but like I like to create, I like to build, and I like to try to give birth versus just create something. I want to give birth to something so that it takes a life of its own. So Nikeza was, or is, it's still a prototype. I realized after I got really deep into it that there's other websites that are similar to it, which no one ever told me when I was first trying to ask around. But as soon as I started showing off the prototype, they're like, "Oh, there's a website that's just like this." So I've seen like maybe two or three of them so far. But this new case is still unique because this is more than just a listing website. It's it's you can register your profile and you can feature your content and you can surf the topics of other experts. So yeah. Um, and click on a profile. There's some performance opportunities that I still need to work on. But honestly, I'm losing motivation. I kind of want to like just start on the mobile piece. I don't like web development. I don't. I kind of want to like just start focusing on like on the mobile part. People judge you though. People they'll judge you as a software developer when they only see the UI. And that's unfortunate. It's reality, but I just don't like building a user experience on a freaking website. Like, ew, websites are kludgy. But I learned a lot because I was able to strengthen my functional programming fundamentals. And believe it or not, Elm and F Sharp, they both stem from what is it, the ML. Well, they both stem from ML, which I haven't really researched ML at all. My understanding is it's a way of representing uh, function signatures based on specific syntax. But honestly, I never Wikipedia'd it, so IDK. Anyway, you could click on someone's profile and you could follow them. You could see their featured topics per category, such as answers, articles, podcasts, videos, right? If you want to drill down into articles, then there you go. I actually need to probably put in, I should put in some spacing in here. Anyway, in addition to that, so this is when you're just surfing, you can actually log in, Scott.Nimrod at bizmonger.net. You can actually log in, come here, and you can observe recent links, such as this was Scott Vlashin, which I just added this link, right? Because this is what I do. I create fake profiles. Well, I mean, these profiles are real. It's just I created them. And the people that I respect, that I want to follow, like I'm using this as my own personal tool. So I just recently added this video called Designing with Capabilities, meaning that I was viewing one of his videos, Scott Vlashin's videos on YouTube, in which he has a video on security and design, hence designing with capabilities. So I recently added that, and that was through this link view right here, where you put in the title, the URL, you add some topics to it, and you provide a content type, such as, is it an article, is it a podcast, is it an answer, whatever. And then you just add the link. Something I'm still struggling with is I try to, how do I say this? When the application, okay, when you navigate to when you launch the web application, yeah, let me say it like that. When you launch the web application, behind the scenes on a server, I immediately run a asynchronous task for loading up the topics from Stack Overflow. So hence C#.net, Akka, all those different topics that you would assign to a question that you would post. There's like I think I had like 1,400 different topics that I know that I load in from the Stack Overflow API. And so like that takes like maybe 5 seconds to load. And the reason why I'm mentioning all this is because as soon as the web application is launched, behind the scenes, I'm trying to load in all that data and then cache it so that eventually when you do want to view some auto suggestions that are based on these topics or these tags, that as you're typing in characters in the field, it just automatically shows up. And unfortunately, even though I do that, it's not really being reflected in the user experience. So because I'm recording right now, maybe it'll work, but usually what I'm saying is I'll type in like F sharp. And like you notice how long it takes for the auto suggestions to respond. And the thing is I have code in there to basically immediately get that stuff as soon as you launch Nicasa. And then I have code in there that's kind of redundant, whereas as soon as you click on the link button of the navigation pane, it'll automatically try to fetch that data again before you even start keying in data for your auto suggestions to pop up. So I'm trying to like pre-populate the list of suggestions before you even start requesting it, and it's not working. And I don't know why. I feel as if well, I don't understand HTTP. I haven't really taken the time to research it. And I feel as if behind the scenes, I'm not really locking in a server session to an actual user that's logged in. I feel like every single time a request is made to Nicasa's server, it is reinitializing the entire server again. That's what I believe. I haven't really done any tests yet to prove that. But make long story short, I've been spending my time trying to just clean up user experience bugs. A bug that I recently fixed this morning. See, that's something else. Like when I that's messed up. When I hit the backspace button, I clear everything. It should just clear everything in there, and it's not doing that. Yeah, so like, yeah, that's not good. And that code is actually, I'm not supposed to be fixing code on here. Input URL, but yeah, that's annoying. I thought I fixed this already. Input topic, okay, and it should this topic suggestions should be clear. All right, so I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted, but my OCD is taking over. So like, yo, this new links right here, there should be a link to create, and then there's topic suggestions, and we want to clear that. So if I go back to new link, and then in the event that OCD, man, why do you do this to me? So over here, I can say link to create current topic equals that, and I should be able to say some like topic suggestions equals this right here, and things should just work when I save it. And do I have this? Not up. I need to add my Elm Live on here. Come here, Elm Live. Elm Live right here. Okay. And that's going to do whatever it needs to do. And this should just work, right? So it says it works, but just to make sure, let me save this specific file again. And okay. So I just cleared topic suggestions in the event that you have an empty string for your input, which is basically this right here, right? Now, this is the actual server, and this is my local instance, right? So this is my developer version of this, and this is actually what is in production right over here. So when I deploy my changes, what should happen is when I hit backspace all the way to the beginning, everything should clear out. So it's like little stuff like that that I've been focusing on. A whole bunch of annoying little user experience bugs. Yeah, since I already did that, I guess I could just say fixed. Oh shoot, come here. Hold up. Oh, come here. I could say like fixed. Auto suggest on new link when no characters exist. What else did I do? I fixed bug. This is what I did before I launched this video. I fixed a bug where specifying featured topic has period in front crashes app, and you can say like example net. I guess I could wrap that in double quotes. Thank you, OCD. And I fixed some other stuff too. Highlight. Oh, no, come here. Highlighted link designated as featured when via checkbox. Via checkbox, right? All right. So like, I'm gonna control enter, and that should enter all that in. I just push it. So that little thing right there should be fixed. And let me go back. We're on the Keza.io. I already discussed getting latest. Come here. Yo, is this broke already? Something else I need to fix is I need to add like deep linking. I don't know if that's the right term, but basically being able to go back and forth, or like if I want to go straight to Nikeza.io and then / provider 2957, I should be able to do that without having to go to the landing page first. And if I try to do that now, what will happen, because I don't think this is handled, is everything's just empty, right? So I need to handle that too. So within my routing, it shouldn't assume that data is already initialized or my model is already initialized. It should do a check to see if I have values in my model. And if I don't have any values in my model, then it should immediately start making requests to suck in those values via web request calls or web services. So that's something that's still on my list to do. I don't know if I actually have it in my issues. This is my GitHub account for Nikeza. Yeah, sooner or later in here, the topic. I don't think I have it in here. Hold up. Product. No, 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 no. Is it in my clothes? Yeah, come here. Where the filters at? Open issues, your issues. Labels. Yeah. Oh, yo, this is hard to discover, man. I didn't see it's closed over here. So, I'm not sure what you. Yeah, I might just create Yeah, let me just go ahead and do it. So like, I need to basically add deep. I don't know if it's called deep linking. Hold up, come here. Linking. Um, what's the name of that feature? Deep linking. No, come here. Stop. Linking. And yeah, this right here. So is the use of a hyperlink that links to a specific, generally searchable or indexed piece of web content on a website. Yeah, so that sounds like what I want. And so, add deep link functionality. And then I could say, example, navigate to, can't spell, navigate to portfolio, navigate to user portfolio directly. Or via URL. And that should be enough. That's an enhancement. I'm not going to call it a bug. And add deep link functionality. Currently, the app only works when first hitting the home page. Okay. We want this to be Googleable. I don't know. Whatever. Googleable. How you spell? I know Googleable is not a word. Whatever. Want to be, all right, we want to have, all right, I'm getting too deep into it. Leave it like this. All right. So, anyway, submit that. Go back to this Nikaiza thingy. That's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to share. Yeah, come here. And that's pretty much been my journey of look what I did. I built a website, and I'm not a web developer, and I built it using a functional programming language in which I don't have to interact with JavaScript. And that programming language is called Elm. So I knocked that off of my bucket list, and that's pretty much it. So let me, come here. Let me go back to me. Where's my stop recording? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's me reviewing or having self-reflection on my journey of learning another functional programming language, and at the same time digging into web development. And it's been last thoughts is it's been exhausting. Forcing myself to complete tasks every single day when I'm kind of done with this project. Like I'm not really interested in this Nikaiza web application anymore. I could do some Nikaiza mobile, but just been forcing myself to stay consistent every single day to knock off tasks. And of course, when you create new features, then that spawns new tasks called bugs that also have to be knocked off. So it's just been a journey, right? But I think I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I wrote some blog posts regarding it. I published one yesterday for F Sharp advent calendar or something like that. So yeah, that's it. So I'm out. And I'm Scott Nimrod, and this is more of self-reflection, me like using YouTube to think out loud without society judging me as crazy or loony. And so it's weird how some tools will provide you permission to self-reflect out loud because it means something when you say it out loud versus when it's just contained within your head. I'm out. I'm out here in Miami, Florida. Hit me up. I do native application development for both desktop and mobile. I'm trying to get away from object-oriented programming. It's useful, especially when you're building user experiences on the native side, especially. But that's as far as I want to interact with it. I've developed a deep appreciation for functional programming right now. It's it's more productive. It is more productive, and I say that, that's not my opinion. It's the truth, and so it doesn't make sense for me to dumb down my skills just because mainstream people haven't caught up with me. I'm leaving on that note. Peace.